Miroslava Sternova Bekova, better known as Miroslava Stern, or just Miroslava, was a Mexican actress of Czechoslovakian origin, belonging to the golden age of Mexican cinema. She was born in Prague, Czechoslovakia, on February 26, 2026. She was the daughter of Dr. Oskar Stern and daughter of Mrs. Miroslava Bekova. Despite the economic position of the family, she was forced to leave the country due to violent persecutions that Nazi soldiers inflicted in Czechoslovakia. Fleeing from their homeland, the family left behind Miroslava's grandmother, to whom she was especially close. This was the first of the many painful moments that would mark her and later take her to the grave. She studied at the American School of Mexico City. Inspired by the haute couture, she studied design and painting. In the year of 1945, Miroslava's mother died as a result of a cancerous disease, which leads her to a deep depression. So, Miroslava's father decides to send her to study in the United States, a career in decoration and architecture in New York. There, she falls in love with an American soldier, with whom she planned to marry in 1942. It's in New York where Miroslava lives her first suicide attempt, although some versions indicate that it was for the death of her boyfriend. In 1945, she decides to study acting with Seki Sano. Falls in love with one of his disciples, the actor and at that time stage director student Jesus Jaime Gomez Obregón, aka El Bambi, a member of a family of the upper bourgeoisie of the time and nephew of Mexican President Álvaro Obregón. They got married on February 2, 1946. But they divorced the same year, upon discovering that Jesus Jaime was cheating on Miroslava with another man, and that marriage was only for covering his homosexuality. The first film in which she participated was Bodas Trágicas in 1946, along with Roberto Silva and Ernesto Alonso. The second one was the drama called Cinco Rostros de Mujer of the same year. In 1947, she had the opportunity to have a brief but important run alongside the now famous Mario Moreno Cantinflas and Ángel Garaza in the comic film A Volar Joven, which catapulted to be recognized in other latitudes. Miroslava's career was short. It only lasted 9 years and her filmography consists of 3 titles. However, they were enough for her to leave an indelible mark on the public. Her last film was Ensayo de un crimen, directed by Luis Buñuel. In 1952, she travels to Europe before recording Ensayo de un Crimen, and there she meets Luis Miguel, the gentleman of the time. They were so in love with each other, it was an instant crush. They even made plans for marriage, but at the end, while she was recording Ensayo de un Crimen, Luis Miguel canceled the engagement and later left her for the actress Maria Felix. Well, that's what people says. Miroslava's participation in the film Ensayo de un Crimen was fortuitous. Miroslava was already in a deep depressive state, so his father asked actor Ernesto Alonso to help him in some way to keep his daughter occupied. On Thursday, March 10 at 11 a.m., the housekeeper insistently called the room of the actress, who did not answer, so the employer thought that her employer was asleep. Having no answer, Mr. Oscar Stern and actress Ninon Sevilla forced the door of the room. Miroslava was dead in her bed. At the scene, a box of barbitures, a bottle containing another drug called Dote Calibes, and 3 posthumous letters, written in chess language,